Existentialism is kinda the edgy, angsty philosophy out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's good to be reminded of our mortality and the suffocating responsibility of our human freedom. And then you got Christianity, which often gets stereotyped as a naive, happy-go-lucky religion. Now, despite obvious examples of the contrary, including philosophers who dabble in both existentialism and Christianity, there's a specific book of the Bible that often gets overlooked which contains strong existential themes. The book can be considered dark, and I wouldn't imagine many Sunday school teachers talking about this to kindergartners. That book is the book of Ecclesiastes. Existentialism's a bit of a broad concept dealing with freedom, choice, meaning, and death. And it's that last one, death and mortality, that really gives existentialism that angsty vibe. Now, you might imagine that death isn't really that big of a deal for religious people. After all, you could go to heaven in the case of Christianity, or you just get reborn in the case of Buddhism. But in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's no mention of heaven, nor much of God, making it an accessible text for everyone. But I mean, even if there's a heaven, that doesn't mean death doesn't suck. You're leaving behind this world and all your friends and family. There are no dry eyes at funerals, even if it's a Christian burial. But regardless, despite your personal beliefs, I hope you could find some value out of this book of the Bible. The first chapter talks about how everything is emptying upon emptying. But emptying is better translated in Hebrew to this word hevel. Hevel has many translations, but the one that makes the most sense to me is vapor. Because what is vapor? Vapor is temporary, impermanent. It's here for 1 second and gone the next. So instead of reading chapter 1 as everything is emptying, a better translation might be that everything is impermanent. As the very next verses read, a lifetime of labor under the sun. And yet what survives? The earth outlasts you, and humanity passes away one generation after another. So it's not only our life that's impermanent, it's our age, our looks, our abilities, our finances. Everything is subject to change, and we can't latch onto any one stable thing. But there are ways to still find meaning and stability in life, right? Well, the author of Ecclesiastes, a person going by the name of Koheleth, decides to explore these different life paths in order to find meaning or something that could escape the hevel, the impermanence in life. He starts with physical pleasure, nothing. Then he tries drinking and still nothing. Maybe wealth? Nah, not that either. What about wisdom? A bunch of philosophers espouse the virtue of wisdom. Surely wisdom escapes hevel. Wisdom opens the eye to consequence while folly provides no discernment. And yet the wise and the foolish share the same reward, death. So I said to myself, if the fool's fate is the same as mine, has wisdom any lasting advantage? And I concluded that wisdom too was empty, for in the end both wise and foolish are forgotten. The death of one is identical to that of the other. So being wise has advantages, but that's while you live. Doesn't matter how big-brained you've become while you're dead. You there right now are technically smarter than Einstein, because that dude's mind no longer works. He's no longer alive. So what are we to do? We all die. Does that mean nothing matters? Are we really getting some nihilist proponent here in the Bible? Well, Koheleth has a very short and simple saying that tells us how we should live. So what isn't absurd? To eat simply, and drink moderately, and do work that satisfies the soul. This is what reality offers us. If I had to compare this to another philosophy, I'd say it's very Taoist. You know, don't struggle or fret over the small stuff. Just do enough to sustain your life, enjoy yourself in moderation, and since you have to work, try to find some happiness in the work you do. We all have probably worked bad jobs. I was a clerk at a grocery store who helped clean, and there was some disgusting messes. This one lady brought her dog in and it left a trail of poop as it just went all over the store. It was like Pac-Man going through these aisles like a maze trying to clean up after that dog. But you know, I did my best to find some joy in that job. When I sweeped aisle to aisle, it was kinda meditative. It gave me a chance to relax. There was a cute lady I helped out one day and it made my day. I even remember it all these years later. I liked talking to my coworkers. There was this one dude who was just happy all the time, no matter what work he was doing, and he just cheered me up, kinda like his joy was infectious. The point is, yeah, we have to work to meet our basic needs and then some. And yes, it can suck. But instead of complaining about it, you could either get a better job if you can, or try your best to find what little nuggets of joy you can in that job. If the rest of the job really sucks, then those little glimpses of light will be extra bright. Take pleasure in whatever you receive, no matter how much or how little. Accept what is and learn to enjoy it. This is the gift reality offers. And look at that, this video magically also becomes Thanksgiving related, right on time. Look, to sum it up, no matter what religious beliefs you may have or lack thereof, Ecclesiastes tells us to take it easy, try to find joy in the hard parts of life, take some time for pleasure, and be thankful and content. Now that's advice that anyone can use. Hopefully this video gave you something to think about. If you found it helpful, then subscribe, like, and hit the bell. If you did not find it helpful, then leave me the biggest, longest hate comment below. Regardless, happy Thanksgiving, and I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.